Hello everyone, welcome back to my Product Chat series. Today our Product Chat guest is Pawel, who is author, product coach, product manager, and product owner. He's currently working at Regiondo, and today we will be discussing about Pawel's journey as a PM and his advice as to how others can transition into the field. Hi Pawel, I'm so excited to speak to you today. How are you?
Hi, I'm also excited. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you for just sharing your journey with us. So let's start with why did you choose product management as a career?
I think it's hard for me to imagine doing something else, although it was not a fully concise choice. So I started as a developer, then I worked as a team leader. I built a department in one of the companies. I also ran my own startup, so many different things. And finally, I decided that this area between business and technology and also working with the customers is what gives me the most fun. So it's a hard work, to be honest, but it is extremely stimulating for the mind. So you talk to many people every week with different people, different cultures. You are working on different goals. So this is really interesting for me, and also I would say cutting through complexity, simplifying things, bringing clarity to the sometimes chaos that is around us. It's really fulfilling, and doing something meaningful and seeing the results of your work. And as a PM, you do not code, you do not create the product with your hands, but you have a substantial influence on delivering value and creating something for others. And this is really exciting for me.
Yeah, I definitely agree that it's a very fulfilling career that you can see that, your product that you have been working on since so long is now finally, at its like final phase. So since you already mentioned about some of your, job duties, what is like a standard day in the life of a product manager?
I would say that most of the time, I think I spent most of the time on product discovery. So not on delivering things and looking what developers do, but figuring out what will bring value to the customer and also what will work for different departments, different parts of the business. So those are two areas of risk. Marty Kagan says about value for the customers and viability, what is viable for the business. So this is like 50% at least of the work. Of course, you do not do it alone. I work closely with engineers and designers. So it's like a model role right now, I would say. And the rest of the time, it's mostly talking to stakeholders, preparing some presentations. Only a small portion, and I think there is a huge misconception on the market that product manager, this is the product owner role from Scrum, and you can write user story in like 10 minutes. So I think it's a very small portion of the time when I work on with Jira and write user stories, or I do not test software. There is a tester for that. I do not create any prototypes because it's designer's job. So I'm solely focused on what's to do next.
Okay. Makes sense.
Sorry? Yeah. That's
Go ahead, sorry.
It's difficult to describe it in more details, I think. That's a good reference that most of the time you work on discovering what to build, understanding the problem, and figuring out what will bring value for the customers.
Okay, so that was actually my next question. So what PM offers to the team, you already answered some of it. Do you want to add anything else in terms of like what a product manager brings to the team?
Mm. So it's a different role, difficult role, because you work with almost every department of the organization. You work with the customers, you work with engineers. So if the team succeeds, it's the shared responsibility. But if something goes wrong, it's your responsibility, and you you have to take it. Also, product manager needs to know the market. So typically, of course, some developers will talk to the customers, but they do not necessarily know what are the market trends, how the industry works. They don't have to know the competition, or they don't use competitors' products. So product manager should be aware of that. And also understanding of how the organization is working, what is the business strategy, what is the vision of the organization, and aligning your product strategy with the vision and business strategy of the organization. This is important, and those are insights that product manager brings to the team. Also, it's although you are not a manager of anyone in the team, you lead with the vision, you lead with the strategy. You need to be a good communicator to explain what this vision and strategy, so that people feel that they work towards some goal, and they feel intrinsic motivation, so that they understand that it's not only taking some items from Jira, implementing them and pushing forward, but yeah, they contribute to something meaningful. So yeah, those are some of the things that PM brings to the team.
Okay, sounds good. So since you mentioned about like communication, what other skills do you think a new product manager should have?
Mm. So a person who want to transition, just to understand the question, person who want to transition into PM, or
Yes.
product manager who.
So someone who wants to transition as like maybe a new grad, or someone who is working at a different place, like a different position, and they want to transition into PM. Yeah.
So I think it's good to know that the kind of job that you are going to do is completely different. So typically, developers, for example, developers like to have those block of time focused work when you can for 4 or ideally 8 hours work on a single task. And this is not the case for product manager. You get many messages, many calls, different meetings, and your day is splitted like yeah, it's sometimes it's a mess, and you always feel that you do not have time for everything. So you need to prioritize, and you need to eliminate things that do not bring much value.
Yes.
So this, I think this is not for everyone, because not everyone will feel comfortable with this piece of work. And also, you need to be comfortable with uncertainty. So it means that sometimes you need to make decisions without having all the information that you would like to have. And sometimes you make a mistake. You need to take consequences, because it's at the end of the day, it's your responsibility. I think also product managers should be comfortable with critique, because it's difficult to satisfy everyone. It's almost impossible in huge organizations. There will be always some people who will be complaining, so you shouldn't take it personally. And it's not possible to be product manager, and if you have the characteristic that you want to satisfy everyone, this this is never the case. Besides, some general traits is learning quickly, communicating with others, yeah, liking solving problems. You can learn how to leverage data, but this is part of the learning. So metrics and some product metrics, some data analytics. Probably some empathy to the customers, so that you not only can understand their problems, but you want to understand and you want to help them. For me, this is really important, and not every developer has a customer focus. Sometimes people have more technical focus, so that they think about algorithm, databases, some interfaces. But this and user perspective, it's extremely important in my opinion.
Okay, some really good points. Thank you for sharing that. So in terms of like your job, you have been doing it since so many years. What do you think, like, what's the one thing that's like you love about your job and one thing that you dislike about your job?
Mm. So maybe we start what I dislike, and if I have to choose something, this would be that the job is the product manager job in general. It's challenging. So sometimes you may feel tired after the whole day and switching between meetings, writing different messages, talking to many people. So after 8 hours of intensive communication, sometimes people can feel tired. But I think it's also what I like about this job, because yeah, the piece of work and many things that happens at the same time. There's complexity that you have to deal with and make decisions without having a full information. This is, yeah, for me, it's stimulating. It's challenging, and I like it, and I like working with the customers. I like helping people. So I have a huge satisfaction when we create something and then deliver it to the customers and see how they use it and what value it brings. It's a great feeling.
Yeah, just seeing like what your product is doing, like how rewarding it is. So that's definitely a good feeling. So in terms of like new product managers, like a lot of people who want to be a product manager after they graduate, like right after that, what skills would you look for? You already answered about the skills, but like if we're interviewing them, what would you look for in a candidate?
Yeah, I partially answered to this question. I would like that the person can learn quickly. This is extremely important, because even if someone has previous experience, and even if this is experience in the same industry or product type, you will always have to learn some specifics that are connected to your business. So you need to understand the business, you need to understand the market, you need to learn what the competitors are doing. There are many people and relationships between people in your organization, and you need to understand how to talk to them best. So yeah, learning quickly, it's a very important trait. I think another is perseverance, so that they just don't give up too easily, and people that can work hard, and if something doesn't work, they don't resign, but try to do it different way. So this is really important for product manager, because there are many obstacles that he or she will have along the way, and they should just learn how to when you fail, you learn from it and you keep going. So this is important. For sure, good communication. So I would typically ask about some previous examples of this communication, of this learning, of some challenging situations in which this person was, just to make sure that this is this is real. And I think that being likable, so building this is often underestimated. That your coworkers, stakeholders, customers that you talk to have a feeling that you are a good person and they just like you. They want to communicate with you. And even if someone was genius and have all the knowledge, if you cannot make good relationships with people, it would be difficult. So yeah, so this is not something that you can learn probably.
Yes, that's not learned definitely.
Yeah.
So in terms of like if someone is coming to basically after graduating and they're coming to a job and they got a job, and after that, what do you think like how one can learn with
Mhm.
like with experience, how can one learn or just be a better product manager?
Uh, can you repeat the question? I'm not sure if I understand it. So how to
So once you got the job and
once
once
you
you
get the
have,
job?
yeah, so how can you, improve being a PM?
So what I typically advise is so before you get the job, I advise to look for the company in which manager can coach you. Because if it is not the case, you will, of course, you will gather some experience, but in good product companies, you have a manager who can, if you are not competent at the beginning, they will find time to show you how you should work, how the product discovery, for example, works in this organization, and manager who knows how to do it. So I would look for the company that can provide me with this training. And honestly, when I started, nobody coached me like this. So now I know that in some companies it is the case. And if this is not the case, you can learn from the books. And I quite often recommend them on my LinkedIn and in my newsletter. I would typically advise to start with Inspired, Empowered, Loved, books like Continuous Discovery Habits, Lean Product Playbook by Dan Olsen, The Build Trap, something from marketing, but I already mentioned, Loved, maybe Crossing the Chasm. So but definitely you can learn from the books, and also there are many great videos. Dan Olsen has a great collection on YouTube, so you can just watch them. Recently, I also did a research, and there are many free courses that you can take. Yeah, so for example, Product Design by Google, and there is also Becoming a Product Manager by LinkedIn. So those are great, good courses, and you can take them for free. In the case of LinkedIn, this is a free trial, but 30 days it's enough to to complete the course and get the certification. There is also great product-led course. What was it? By Mind the Product.
Okay.
Yeah. So the knowledge is, the books are not free, but in many other forums you can get knowledge for free from YouTube videos or from those certifications.
Okay, sounds good. Those are really good resources. I checked some out and I was able to read some books still on like I want to read all of the books still on it. Right now I'm reading the Cracking the PM interview one. So, and I heard that there's one more with the same author that launched like last year. So I had to read that as well.
I have it here.
Oh,
So
yeah, it's right there for me as
yeah,
well. So, um,
I have like
so
50 books in front
wow.
of me. But
Okay, but
yeah.
yeah, Books are
So,
definitely a great way to learn because if like your manager is not that good enough like to actually show you what you
mhm,
need to work on, definitely books or videos are a great way. So you already answered like what you look for an applicant, but in terms of if someone is like a new graduate, they would have very limited experience. What would you
mhm.
recommend them? Like, should they be a part of any extracurriculars or internships, or like how can one stand out as an applicant?
Mm, so you can, I think there are two approaches to recruiting people. You can hire for the competence. So in that case, you need to make sure not only person has knowledge. You can easily check this by asking some questions, but also has experience and proven track record.
Mhm.
And if the person has no experience, so I wouldn't ask. I think I wouldn't ask questions about theory because this is something that can change in 2 weeks, maybe 1 month, if the same person will just take few books and make few courses, the level will be totally different. So the knowledge person has is not that important. I would I would try to figure out if the person will feel good in this role,
Mhm.
uh, how the person feels with uncertainty, uh, if she is a good communicator. Um, Intelligence is also an important trait, curiosity, so motivation and being self-motivated. So I would rather look for a potential, not on the knowledge that the person has at this moment.
Okay.
But of course, if someone is interested in product management, they should know something. So
Right.
at least, yeah, if they have not read anything,
Yes.
so how can they know that they are interested in this role?
Yeah, I agree. So second last question. What advice
Uh-huh.
would you have for future product managers who want to transition into the field?
Mm. So if you want to transition, I assume that your intention is that someone has work but works on a different position. Is that correct?
That's right. So who is a professional and who has
Mhm,
worked at like different, maybe like business analyst or any other position?
mhm. Yeah, business analyst is a good example. Uh, so I think people often underestimate that they already have a lot of knowledge that is required, even if they have not worked as a PM before. So business analyst, I like this example because this person probably worked with customers and must have a customer focus, can work with, must understand the business because how else they can do the analysis, and probably has communicated with the engineers before.
Mhm.
So I would try to identify what skills I already have and what is missing, and focus on those that are missing. And um, if someone works with people a lot,
Mhm.
uh, they probably have most of the required skills. So I have seen a lot of analysts that will make a perfect PMs. I also have seen a lot of designers that can communicate. They can understand customers. They communicate with different departments. They need some theory, perhaps, and some practice, but this is not learning from start,
Yeah.
from scratch.
Okay. That's a really good
So
advice. Thank you.
thank
Um,
you.
so last question. What are
Mhm.
your future aspirations or goals?
Uh, that's a difficult question because uh, uh, yeah, I really like what I'm doing right now. So I'm not sure if I would like to work as a head of product, for example, because I like working with developers, and managing product managers is not the same. This is some high-level strategy, vision, but it's quite fulfilling for me right now. So, but what I am trying to do is recently I focused on building community. I'm active on LinkedIn. I also started tweeting. So I think I would like to help other people. I started sharing resources, writing advice on product management, sharing knowledge. But I don't feel I need to monetize it. At least now, it's just fun.
Yes.
So yeah, so this is what I would like to focus on, and at the same time, I think I wouldn't, even if I won like $10 million, I would still work on a similar position as right now.
Wow, okay.
So I don't feel the need to change anything.
Okay. First of all, I just want to say something. I actually read your like LinkedIn post like very regularly, and I just want to tell you that it's very, very, very informative. So thank you.
Thank you. It's
But
nice to hear.
so that answers all my questions. Just want to thank you a lot because the interview was very descriptive. So anyone, especially me, if like I'm a new PM too, so I'll be joining a company very soon. But there are a lot of new product managers coming up. So this is very informational. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.